Okay. So after Fandango's unimpressive WrestleMania debut, we moved to the next match, which was Jack Swagger facing Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the story going into this, some people liked it, some didn't. Actually, a lot of people didn't like it. And the argument going into this is that Del Rio and Sheamus Del Rio and Sheamus, wow. I mean, they wrestled a lot of times last year. Del Rio and Swagger, they weren't believable enough. I mean, Del Rio's believable enough. The problem maybe was Swagger wasn't a believable main eventer, like believable enough to actually earn this world title shot. But did the match deliver though? Yeah. This was a good match. This was Swagger and Del Rio did deliver a pretty good technical bout. There were some cool counters from the arm ankle lock to the arm breaker and vice versa. Coulter did his best to get the crowd riled up, and it really was a good technical match. I'm not saying it was like a classic or nothing. It wasn't a classic, but it was still pretty decent. Much better than the show's been giving us thus far. One thing I thought was really weird. We cut to a promo video talking about the Del Rio Swagger rivalry, and when we come back, we see a camo golf cart and Swagger and Coulter in the ring. They totally skipped over their entrance. Why'd you do that? You don't do that. Automatically made this match feel like a glorified Raw match, like skipping one of the wrestlers' entrances. I don't understand why they did that. Maybe it was punishment because he never got in trouble for his DUI, so they said, okay, you don't get a WrestleMania. It was weird. It felt really weird. But yeah, this match, it was a good match. They tried their best. And yeah, pretty good. Didn't tear the house down. It's not, oh my God, you gotta go find Jack Swagger versus Del Rio or WrestleMania 29. You gotta watch it. No, not that, but it was enjoyable. Dolph Ziggler did not cash in, so I was double disappointed because he didn't win the tag titles and he didn't cash in. More on that later. Moving on. Now we got the big three. The big three matches this show is based upon. Were they any good? Let's see. Undertaker versus CM Punk. Okay. The story going into this match, some thought it gave Punk incredible heat, others thought it was incredibly tacky. When that bell rang, and they went at it, that storyline, we just forgot about it, and we were just completely enthralled by this match. This was a awesome match. They said on Raw the other night that this past Sunday, Undertaker proved he is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best performer in WrestleMania history. I think Shawn Michaels wants to have a word with you, Undertaker, but he's definitely one of the top three all-time performers in WrestleMania. I mean, the matches he's been having these past few years, legendary. This match is no different. Was not as good as his matches against Triple H or Shawn Michaels, but it was still just an absolutely wonderful match. The key to WrestleMania Undertaker matches is this. We know Taker's going to win, but how believable is the threat that he's going to lose the match, lose the streak? The drama in the match. How good is the drama? And this match, again, while not as good as the Triple H or Shawn Michaels matches, this came pretty close. It was still a really, really edge of your seat match. These two just tore the house down. Just a couple of high points. The entrances were awesome. CM Punk was played to the ring by Living Color, who rocked the house much better than did he. And there, Heyman headbanging with the urn. That's terrible, but still fun. I can't help it. It's like the Joker killing the guy in The Dark Knight, shoving the pencil into his eye. You're not supposed to laugh because it's so terrible, but at the same time, you can't help it. And you feel terrible afterwards. Damn you, Paul Heyman. So then, Undertaker's entrance. Wow, that was cool looking. He's walking slowly to the ring, and the hands grabbing at him, and that looked sick. That was cool. And just a couple spots during the match. Punk just doing old school on Undertaker. That was like, you son of a, you don't, Taker does that. That looked cool. I just love the spot where Punk did the GTS on Taker, hit him like right here in the chest. And all Taker did was just bounce against the ropes, and he came right back and tombstoned him. That was awesome. Punk doing the Randy Savage elbow on the Taker, but the table didn't break. That looked painful. It looked like Taker's chest just blew up. That looked painful. Yeah, just great match. Great match. I knew these two were gonna have a great match. It just perfectly met my expectations. Best match of the night. Screw the next two. This was the best match of the night, and this was the first match that actually made it feel like WrestleMania. We were 6 matches in, and we finally have a WrestleMania quality match. Okay, the opener was alright, but still. Next, we had Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. No holds barred. If Triple H loses, okay, if Triple H loses, he must retire. Wasn't Triple H already like kind of part-time anyway? I mean, at most he probably only wrestles maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So what's the point in having him wrestle in a? I don't know. The whole retirement gimmick, I think, was an unnecessary add-on to this match. Of course, I probably already talked about this in my predictions video, but still, this match did not need that stipulation added to it, and they really didn't do anything with it. Like, Triple H never talked about it on TV, or like never anything serious about it on TV. So what was the point of even adding it? I don't know. But the match itself, remember, I was scared to death about this match because I didn't know how good it was going to be because of their SummerSlam crap fest. This match was good. It was a fun brawl, and me and Jason counted there was only 6 Kimuras the entire match. That blew our minds. I mean, the SummerSlam match was nothing but Kimuras. This was only 6 Kimuras. Okay, pretty good. Some people have called it boring. This match was kind of slow-paced and boring, and yeah, it was slow. Like a little boring at times, but you know, it was a good, fun brawl. Nowhere near as good as Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania 27, mind you. But it was still a good, fun brawl. You know, Brock Lesnar didn't totally dominate. Triple H got a fair amount of offense in, and it was just a good, entertaining brawl. Could have been better, sure. It was not as good as the previous match, you know. Didn't deliver as well as the other big matches, but it was alright, you know. It was a good, fun brawl, and I'm relieved that it wasn't as bad as the SummerSlam match. Alright. John Cena versus The Rock, WWE Championship. I already said how this match never should have happened. This match never should have been thought about. And of course, they did it anyway. After watching this match, I know, yeah, it should not have happened. It was not bad. Rock Cena 2 was not bad. But it should not have taken place. I was talking with Jason. We were at school yesterday. We were talking about WrestleMania. You know, and he told me that Rock Cena, in his eyes, was like almost an exact carbon copy of what happened last year. I don't know if I go that far, but I mean, yeah, they follow almost the same formula. They had a couple of callbacks to last year, like spots they did last year, they did this year. But the thing is, it just didn't have that. It didn't have the feel that the last match did. It didn't have the atmosphere. It didn't have the build. The build-up was better, but just last year, the fact it was the very first time these two were going to face off against each other, and the fact that WWE said once in a lifetime, but yeah, it's like, you know, lightning struck last year. It worked last year. Everything was pitch perfect last year. It worked. This year it didn't. It didn't have that same feel. It didn't have that same build-up. It didn't have that same. It just did not work as well as last year. And I knew it was going to do that going in. I knew this match. I knew going into this match that it was going to be like this. Was it still entertaining? It was still entertaining to watch. You know, it's not like I'm never going to watch the match again. Like I refuse to watch it again. But this match shouldn't have taken place. This match should not have happened. You know? There was no heel turn, but from Cena. But Cena was noticeably aggressive and angry the entire match, which I thought was neat. Now, of course, they're not going to do anything with that, but still, the thought that he was just the sight of him being intense and angry looking the entire match was, and cocky. There's a side of Cena that we don't really see often, so that was neat. And The Rock ended up getting injured in this match 15 minutes before the match ended. So that means the match was about 24 minutes or so. So that means they were only like, what, 4 or 5 minutes in, and he went the rest of the match injured. Wow, props to The Rock, you know. And you couldn't even tell he was injured. Props to The Rock, you know. The ending of the match with them like shaking hands and hugging. Of course, my friend said this is going to be just like Hogan Rock at WrestleMania 18, which, yeah, it was. I mean, there's not a whole lot for me left to say. I mean, it wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to be as good as last year, but maybe I was expecting it to still be good. And yeah, it was still good, but I mean, the reason why John Cena and CM Punk, every time they face off, we know we're going to see something good. The matches are the way they work together. You know, their matches feel unique to each other. You know, they don't just feel like carbon copies of each other. And this just felt like, Jason says it felt like a carbon copy. I don't think it was an exact copy, but yeah, it was very close to it. It shouldn't have happened. Rock Cena 2 should not have happened. That simple. Alright, so WrestleMania 29. disappointing WrestleMania. Disappointing. Some have called this a 3-match show, others have called it a 1-match show. Considering the fact that Triple H and Brock Lesnar was fun and watchable, but not really mind-blowing, and The Rock Cena was, again, shouldn't have happened, I'm going to say this was a 1-match show. Punk and Taker, now I think about it, WrestleMania 25, the only reason you should watch WrestleMania 25 really is because of Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Only reason to watch WrestleMania 29, Undertaker, CM Punk. Yeah, there's some good matches on WrestleMania 29, but this just really felt like an average Raw in front of 80,000 people. Which, you know, that's not good. It's WrestleMania. Another friend of mine told me that while he was watching it, he stopped watching for half an hour or 30 minutes because he was so bored by it. I was like, yeah, I didn't think it was that bad, but wow. Did this show fail to deliver? I mean, kinda, yeah, this show kinda did fail to deliver. I mean, you only have one match that I'm screaming to you to go watch, and the others you can pass. That's not WrestleMania, you know? This is just above average. No, scratch that. Just average quality Raw. You know? There was no America the Beautiful, which I didn't realize it, but after I thought about it, yeah, there was no America the Beautiful at all. There was zero backstage segments, like no interviews, no just random promos or nothing. Absolutely zero. This is, you know, someone said this felt very rushed, and I don't know if I'd say that, but thinking about it, this WrestleMania didn't feel as well thought out, as tightly cohesive and constructive that the other WrestleManias have. They cut out the 8-person tag match because of time. They probably shortened some other matches because of time. You'd think by now, with 29 renditions of the event, they figure out how to manage their time better. But hey, where's WrestleMania 29 just fit? Definitely not top 10. Top 15? No. Definitely in the bottom 15. It's not the worst WrestleMania of all time, but considering that it's kind of really a one-match show, I can't really give it a high rating, you know. I had fun watching it with my friends and whatnot, but I was disappointed by this show. I was disappointed. And it's the one show that you can't feel disappointed at because it's WrestleMania. You know. Overall score. What am I going to give overall? Crap. And it's hard to rate because, like I said, there was not really a bad match on the card, but it just wasn't WrestleMania, you know? I keep wanting. My mind keeps going to 6 out of 10. You know, that might be a little high. I don't know, but I can't give more than that. Like, I wouldn't even say this is an average WrestleMania. Like, an average WrestleMania, you know, one that's not really that bad, but not really good either. Like, probably, I'm thinking, I promise. Like 25, I guess. You know, it's not really terrible, but it's not really that great either. You know. So yeah, I really hope next year's WrestleMania is better, WrestleMania 30 in the Superdome, because God willing, I'm gonna be at WrestleMania next year. I mean, the Superdome's an hour and a half away from my house. From this room, it's an hour and a half away. So I'm gonna try my absolute hardest for me and my friends to go to WrestleMania next year. That'd be awesome. But yeah, WrestleMania 29. 6 out of 10. You know, it was an okay show, albeit very disappointing show. And only one match really highly delivered that WrestleMania quality that we expected. So, yeah. I'm Jacob, and that was my WrestleMania 29 review. And stay tuned, I'm about to do my thoughts on this Monday's Raw. So, check that out once I post it. And have a good night.